Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Asshole Consulting. Oh, you assholes. Cappy, this is not a question of how do I get the girls. It's how do I find a woman who can cook. I don't know. But we're gonna try, goddammit. We'll try. Name your price, Gary. Alright, so I don't know. I have been lucky that the girl I'm dating now cooks. And I have occasionally dated women who have cooked occasionally. But an actual good cook, like wow, she's a good cook. That's right. I don't think I've had that. The girl I'm dating now is a good cook. I think that's the only one. Like, she likes to cook. Every other girl, well, not every other girl, but the majority of girls that I had as girlfriends would occasionally cook for me. They knew how to. It's just they didn't. So some of my research bears this out. So we'll go through two interesting, though seemingly contradictory, but I'm going to guess they're not, if we think about it a little bit, to give us some statistics. First, there are news articles, many of them, that cite the decreasing number of people who cook at home, who eat at home. And this is usually couched within, millennial trends and personal finances, because the more you spend eating out, it's a shocking just what a high percentage of the budget people spend eating out. And they say most people don't cook at home because, well, they're going to school, they got careers, they don't have time. It's also hard to cook for one. Consulting my notes here. Oh, another one. Most young people are still living at home, so they're still relying on mom to cook. It's just like, God dang it. But all in all, it just seems that it's way easier. It's way more socially accepted. I mean, I remember the day my mom would make us a lunch. We'd have a lunch box. You go to school and you eat your lunch. There was no cafeteria. That came in the mid to late 80s. We're like, well, we'll feed your kids too. We're brainwashing and we'll take care of you. Matter of fact, why don't you guys just breed? Give the kids to the state and we'll take care of you. Oh, that sounds great. Here's more money. La 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 la. My career is so important. So the numbers and the stats they all show are very convincing. I don't disbelieve, I believe them. But then there's another one here, actual research, an actual study done by a professor of the female persuasion on this exact same issue. And quote, cooking increased overall from 2003 to 2016. The percent of college-educated men cooking increased from 37.9% in 2003 to 51.9% in 2016. That's going from a third to half. But men with less than high school education who cook did not change, 33% in 2016. College-educated women who cook increased from 64.7% in 2003 to 68.7% in 2016, while women with less than high school education had no change at 72.3% in 2016. So here you have the articles and they're surveying. Again, I don't disbelieve them, I believe them, saying people are not eating at home as much and not eating at home. And then we have to say, oh, people are cooking at home more. The difference is this. What is cooking versus eating at home? So, what qualifies cooking from home? I think this is a different thing. Eating at home, I mean, that could include a microwave meal, just making a ham sandwich. I mean, shit, I remember in the college days, I ate at home most of the time because I couldn't afford to go out. And it was bagels and ham sandwiches. All the time. It was the bagel and ham sandwich show for 3.5 years. I'm sure I ate something else. Maybe I'd make a burger if I had time to cook it up. But yeah, it was... And then maybe I'd treat myself to Taco Bell. There was it a pizza? Yeah, there was a Pizza Hut in the basement. And I would treat myself to that once every great while. But yeah, man, I was like, let's grab an apple, let's get a sandwich, and let's go. That was it. That's eating at home, but is that cooking? Yeah, I guess it is kind of cooking, but not in the cooking sense that you want. And so where it says people are cooking at home more, I really think that's just meal prep. I don't think that's Martha Stewart taking her time to mince some onions and julienne some peppers and reading through an ingredient. Or I'm going to make you my chicken piccata. and she gets the capers out with the butter lemon sauce, which the GF has done for me. I don't think that's what you're looking for. So, and one, yes, people are eating out more. Percent cooking at home, I think that's just people preparing meals at home, not actually cooking with love and affection and through the way of the guy's heart is to his stomach or something like that. So that's what I'm thinking about. Question 2. Let's say even if women can cook, which fewer and fewer women can, like an actual meal, not preparing food at home, but can actually be a good cook, do they really want to cook for you? And you're facing not only a decreasing percentage of the female population that used to have this very wonderfully and charming sought-after skill of cooking for her man. Very few women can do it and are actually good cooks, but most of them don't want to. You could argue in part because they are programmed to be adversarial and even weaponized against men, but I don't think that's it. I think the majority of it is they just didn't have time. To be a good cook takes effort and time, like anything else. It is. I mean, I can barely make half. I can barely make a fifth of the things the GF makes, and it doesn't come out good. There is a lot going on with cooking, and you need to be trained in that to a certain level. And if you look at today's generation of young women that you are no doubt trying to find and court and date, you're talking under 30, their moms didn't even cook. They were baby boomer women. They were burning bras, and they were out going to get their associate's degree in secretarial studies. That'll show them. And so normally they would have learned from mom. Mom didn't teach this generation how to cook. Or they would have maybe learned themselves, perhaps maybe on the internet, or they just took a class. But I don't think so much in terms of I'm going to stick it to guys because that's degrading. I don't want a man. I don't do anything for. I don't think it's that. I just don't think they've been trained, and certainly haven't had the time. Just like you and me and all the other guys, women have been propaganda. You must go to school. You must do this. And then instead of any kind of home ec type of activities, women were pushed. You must go play soccer. You must go play basketball. You must join the men's football team. You must go. So we really abandoned any kind of homemaking skills that would have maybe been taught in a home ec class early on. The parents didn't teach it. And then once women got into college and they started their careers and now they're in debt, they don't have time to learn to cook. Women have got to work. They got to work a lot. And they got to pay off those debts. And they have to work more than men, not because of the wage gap, but because they majored in stupid shit. And they're not paid. Let's face it, an anthropology major is not making as much as a computer science major. And so women got to work harder and longer to get themselves out of debt. And by the time they come back, working real I don't know if you guys knew that. Little, because you guys are dumb jamokes. Let me explain to the old captain here. You see, you don't know this, but after a long day at work, you commute an hour one way, you sit there, you deal with bullshit at the office or the factory or whatever, and you have your little lunch, and then you drive back, you have that hour commute afterwards. After basically being gone 9, 10, maybe even 11 hours, you know what's amazing about work? It's tiring. You're tired when you get back from work. So you don't have the energy to, oh wait, that's women who thought work was fun and paying taxes and commuting was the utopia they all thought it was. Oh, they get back and they're tired. Who knew? Who knew? I love it when people get what they want. Oh, it's great. No, I didn't order that for you. You ordered that. You ordered the shit sandwich, and you're going to eat it. And pay interest at 8.7%. Anyway, yeah, women are tired. I mean, the division of labor between the household was not accidental. It wasn't for shits and giggles. You go out and make the money. You go home and take care of the household. More team. Wonder Twins unite. Take form of Bucket of Water. Take form of Eagle. And somehow they saved the planet with that routine a million times. Women, for whatever reason, thought work would be fun. And now they're coming back home and they're tired. And they don't want to cook. You know what? I can't blame them, and neither can you, because you know what? Work sucks. We at least knew that. We tried to warn them, but I didn't want to hear that. And so there's the women of your generation. I'm sure they're out there. They're fewer and fewer. But the numbers you're asking, it's the question I get, how do I find an intelligent person? How do I find wife material? I'm like, you accept you won't. Because the numbers aren't there. And so, how do I find a woman who can cook? You don't. Yes, there's women who are out there that can cook, but I guarantee, like a real cook, like her skill, her hobby, like me, and like she can cook a meal like I can hike a mountain. That type of real awesome cook, less than 1% of the population. For women 30 under, less than 1% of the female population probably actually is a really good cook. And even if they were, assuming they even did 80% what normie women do, they're too busy with their career and their debts and their finances. And let's not forget partying. They don't have the time. And especially you throw in the psychological indoctrination they've gotten of viewing men as, at best, your competitors, at worst, your sworn enemy. They're not going to, my God, you got women like, I don't work out for other men, I work out for myself. The amount of hatred or dislike, let's put it, there's some women that generally hate men, but the dislike and they gotta prove it to you guys that they don't do anything for you and they'll do things on their own terms, and okay, fine. They're not, even those women, the 1% of women that have the ability to cook, that are under 30, I presume that's the dating range you're going for, they're rarely gonna do that nice kindness for you. They're not gonna. I dated a really nice girl one time. I think she cooked for me twice over the course of 2 or 3 years. She was busy. And she liked me. That was without the antagonism that the millennial and younger people have. With the antagonism millennial and younger women have towards men, that animosity, that competitiveness, that's degrading. I would never do that for a man. Of that 1%, well, you could assume that they have that, probably higher correlate. Maybe half of that 1% will not find it degrading and will willingly cook for you. So you are talking about 0.5% of the population. Good luck hunting that. Good luck finding it. So as is with a lot of things with women, your best bet is to not find a woman who already knows how to cook, but to find a traditional woman who is willing to learn how to cook. And that can be fun. I didn't think I'd like cooking. I'm not excited about it. I can do it. It's all right. You go, I made this dish. It came out all right. Look at that. Cappy, you can make something that doesn't make you want to throw up. But it's fun to take a cooking class, and that's what I was going to recommend. See, now we go into it doesn't exist. Now we got to create it out of thin air. So I would go to cooking classes through your community ed class. That's one thing I would do. If you find a girl, and here's the paradox of the problem you're going to face. You got to find a girl that you're going to want to date who is somewhat traditional, who isn't just a raging leftist feminist who's all about politics and careers and all that. Actually, maybe I should fall in love and love another person. So that's going to be the hardest thing for you to find. But you're going to have to find that as a prerequisite to then say, hey, do you want to take a cooking class? Because you don't want a gal who's like, yeah, I want to learn how to cook for myself, or just wants to learn to cook for herself. I just want to learn to cook. I'm not going to do it for you. There are women who want to learn to cook as an intellectual exercise, but you want them to cook for you. You're not like, well, I want to find a woman who can cook for her own intellectual sake. No, I want good food. I want to make me stuff. I want to wear a naughty apron with heels and nothing else on. That's what you want. So you got that then assumes, as a prerequisite, you're going to have a traditional woman who is going to want to cook for you if she had the skills. So I think the larger pool is traditional women who, as of yet, don't know how to cook. And then you find that traditional woman. It should only take 10 to 15 years. And then you drop the idea, hey, we should cook. We should learn to cook. Now here's where you got to be old Capmeister here. You see this gray hair? That's the wisdom. That's the wisdom talking. Let me give you some wisdom. If you go into this class and you start cooking up a storm, now you're screwed. Because if you are a better cook than her, guess who's going to be stuck doing the cooking? You. So you got to play dumb, man. I burned the fish. I burned the water. I burned, oh my God, everything's burned. I put in too much milk. Oh, that wasn't milk, that was flour. Oh, geez, you gotta be a fucking mess. Like the doctor, the teacher has gotta be like, oh my God, like borderline kicking you out of a community ed class. Like, you have got to play it dumb. So that when even if she's a decent cook, a moderate cook, that's fine. It's established that you are not, you get out of the kitchen, you're horrible. Like, you are a crisis. You are a fire hazard, all right? Because I can see what's going to happen with you boys, because we're not dumb. We can cook. We can figure it out. But there's a good chance you might be really good at cooking. And now guess who's going to be the cook? You don't want to be the cook. You want her to cook for you. But then you got to play it dumb for the rest of your life, which is fine. You take her out to nice dinners or whatever you do for her cooking. Be sad. You'd be like that Gordon Ramsay. You could be this amazing cook, but you got to keep it under wraps so you can keep dating your wife. But that's the thing, all right? So you find the traditional woman. Again, shouldn't take more than 15 years. Say, hey, let's take a cooking class. Or maybe you go to a cooking class and you find the women there. That's something to do. I don't know how community ed works in different places, but what's great about community education is you can register at any school district. So you take the cooking class in your local neighborhood, but if there aren't any hot chicks there to you, then you go to the next neighborhood and you go to the next. Heck, I mean, you do it right. You could go Tuesday cooking class in Johnsonville, Wednesday cooking class in Robertville, and Thursday cooking class in Amyville, and then Friday cooking class in Mobeyville. Then there's 30, 40 women, maybe, 5 classes, maybe 50, 60 women. There's not going to be other guys. The guys don't go to cooking class. And then see, here's it. You played the hapless, helpless, pathetic bachelor who can barely it needs help. You're like sick. You're like the sick guy. Oh, do you need, oh God, what? Oh, jeez, no, you didn't. You just play this lovable oaf who just, and you could say, well, why are you taking class? And it's my mom's birthday coming up, and I want to cook for my mom. And it's 2 months away, but I got to get ready now. And this is the 3rd time. Then you got an excuse to keep coming back to class to see the new set of girls coming in. See, because then you come in and the same instructor, like, what are you doing here? You already took this class. But if you're a complete mess, like, I did so horrible, I got to do it. Then, what are you doing? Why are you taking a class? You're the only guy here. My mom's birthday is coming up, and I want to make my mom a meal. I'm just having a hard time. I keep burning everything, and I just wish I got to get more practice. And just in, man. Just in then, oh my God. And then you got some options, right? So you don't want to be too good at the cooking class. Otherwise, you're going to ruin it. So either you bring a date to the cooking class that you've already pre-established as a traditional woman and has the prospects and the potential of becoming a cook, or you use the cooking classes themselves. You go in, don't set the place on fire, but you want to make sure your cookies come out as crappy. You're the worst cook. You want to be the worst cook. Like, oh, Jane, this is just, I gotta go back and work some more, that kind of thing. And then you get pity, and but I don't know. I've not taken a cooking class. I do know teaching dance class community ed was heavily dependent on where you went in terms of hot chicks. You get out to those burbs, man. It's all married 40 and 50-year-old women and empty nesters whose kids are finally out of the house or in high school. You get to the inner egg suburbs. There's some young up-and-coming professional gals finally out of college, and maybe there's some wives unhappy with their husband. I don't know. I didn't see anything. Maybe. Oh, thank God for guns. Anyway, that's what I would try and do. Is you got to get into cooking. You got to get into culinary class or something like that. But yeah, man, they just to go find a woman that cooked. They don't exist anymore. They just don't. I mean, in some capacity they do. But they really don't. You're going to have to make one. You're going to have to create a cook. That's what you're going to have to do. All right. Questions, answers. Links down below. You go to assholeconsulting.com. Send me your questions and your money. Please read the instructions. Don't just send me money. Read the instructions. And if you want a book that'll help out with ways of women, finding a girl how to cook, even though it's not an ounce of word of here on cooking. Bachelor Pad Economics. The Financial Advice Bible for Men. That's kind of cool. And then there's a bunch of other shit I got there, but I'm not going to worry about it. All right, we'll see you guys later. Toodles.